Hello everybody, I know I haven't made a video in a while, and I'm not gonna do an album review today, not a guitar cover. I am gonna actually talk about something that I really enjoy, and I did not really see a good review for here on the YouTube. We're gonna talk about TAMI Show from, I believe it happened on, in October 9th, October 20th and 29th of 1964, featured probably, besides the Beatles, the biggest acts at the time in America. So it's a really great list of people. So you get in alphabetical order. I'm on Wikipedia. And most of this information is correct. I think it all is. I mean, it's they can't screw up on a movie. I mean, if they did, they'd be really stupid. So you've got the Barbarians, which I'm not really into that. But we'll get into all that stuff. The Beach Boys, Chuck Berry, James Brown, Marvin Gaye, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Leslie Gore, Jan and Dean, yeah, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, Smokey Robinson, the Rolling Stones, the Supremes, and the Wrecking Crew was the house band. Really great lineup. I mean, for 1964, that is a star lineup. So Leslie Gore was the biggest star on the bill because, well, she had the most hits by this time in America. Now, had the Beatles been there, that would have been a different story. Or slightly, wait, I think Leslie Gore might have still had, like, maybe one or two more bigger hits than them, but wouldn't be a very big difference there. So it's hosted, the main thing in there is, Jan and Dean, in terms of, like, they host it, and they, do all this goofy stuff and whatever. So they open up, their song, Here They Come from all over the world, which was done for this, is played over the opening credits. Oh my god, all these people are here, and then they show a little film. I really like the one where Jerry is there and he's sleeping, and then they hit him, and he's like, yeah, so I like that. I like, what else is in the intro? I like Jan and Dean riding the bikes and everything, and, I like how they actually show, like, the pacemakers without Jerry, which we rarely get that. They show little bits and stuff, and it's cool how they show the girl, I think the Supremes getting ready and stuff. It's really cool. But then, after the opening credits and stuff, and they show all the girls screaming and everything, Jan and Dean come out, and they say, blah, 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 and then, Chuck Berry comes out, and he does Johnny B. Good and Maybelline. By this time, Chuck Berry had, I think, recently just gotten out of jail, I think. And basically, he was sort of just coming back in a way. Then he does, like I said, he does Johnny B. Good and Maybelline. Does really good, I mean, with the Wrecking Crew backing him up, which is really cool. And then Jerry and the Pacemakers come out, and then they go right into Maybelline, which is, like, the greatest transition. It's so cool how they just transition so greatly. Do have to say, Jerry's vocal has more power than Chuck's, but, I mean, that's just pretty obvious. And from at least what I could hear, Jerry and the guys were getting far more, screams than Chuck Berry, but by this time, that's pretty, it's not surprising at all. So then they, go into Don't Let the Sun Get You Crying, which they do a great version here with, Fred on drums, and then, Hal Blaine does, like, a cool little, like, I think he had, like, big tom-toms or something, and he did, like, extra added percussion, and it sounds really cool. Fred looks at him a little funny. I don't know if that's him, like, saying, oh my, that's cool, or, like, stop. I don't know. I'm assuming he was, like, saying cool. Then they do It's Gonna Be Alright, which it's one of the few live things we have of that specific track. It's great. I mean, Fred and Les doing the backup harmonies on it. You can actually hear them, too. Sweet Little 16, Chuck Berry comes back out and does Sweet Little 16. Great, great live. Then Jerry and the band come back out to do How Do You Do It, which had been a pretty decent hit over here by that time. Then Chuck Berry comes out back out. I think was one of his latest hits. Maybe I could be wrong. Yeah, one of his newer hits. And then after he does that, Jerry and the band come back out to do "I Like It," which at that time I believe was their the newest hit over here. Then they're basically finished. Then Smokey and the Miracles come out to do "That's What Love Is Made Of." "You Really Got a Hold on Me," and "Mickey's Monkey." Besides Smokey's voice being a little bit weak here and there, it's a really great performance by the whole group. They do really amazing. Smokey is obviously great because it's Smokey. The Miracles are great. You know, it's just really cool, and they got the little backup band. It's great. Then we come out, then Marvin Gaye comes out and he does "Stubborn Kind of Fellow," "Pride and Joy," "Can I Get a Witness," and "Hitchhike." His performance is really, really great. I have to say, it's probably towards the top in terms of the quality of the performance, because he did really good. Now it's time for Leslie Gore, which, I mean, she gets, like, how many? "Maybe I Know You Don't Own Me, You Didn't Look Around, Hey Now, It's My Party, and Judy's Turn to Cry." Now, the whole performance is really great. I really like Leslie Gore. She did really, really well for, you know, being, like, you know, the biggest star there and stuff. She had a really, good, but I mean, she always had a really good voice. And Judy's Turn to Cry, I think everybody that had already played beforehand, maybe a few other people, came out during Judy's Turn to Cry. And they all danced around and stuff, and Chuck's doing some weird thing, and Jerry and the Pacemakers and Jan and Dean, and I think Marvin Gaye, they're, like, doing, like a clap thing like The Wave, which is really cool. You know, like 1964, you know, they're doing that kind of stuff, you know, and of course, you know, Jerry and the guys and Jan and Dean are doing it, you know. But I like Jerry being all goofy in there, and Jan and Dean, you know, so that's cool. And then, after Leslie is finished, Jan and Dean come down and they do "Little Old Lady" and "Sidewalk Surfing." I have to say, for Dean not doing the parts on those songs, he does really well resembling P.F. Sloan, and just shows that he probably should have done those parts instead of P.F. Sloan. But, you know, they're really great live performances from them, and we don't get a lot of live stuff from Jan and Dean from the 60s anyway. Then the Beach Boys come out, you know, so they're gonna get a big old thing. So they do "Surfing USA," "I Get Around," "Surfer Girl," and "Dance Dance Dance." "Dance Dance Dance" had just come out. It came out like the day before this thing had happened, which is really cool. You know, I'm very surprised that they were not doing "When I Grow Up" by this time, or not by this time, but, like, I'm surprised they weren't doing they're not doing "When I Grow Up," and they're doing "Dance Dance Dance," which is really, really cool. You know, the single only being out one day, and, you know, here they are. But I think they had a tendency to do that sometimes. Surfing, like I said, "Surfing USA," there's this little part, if you watch the movie, where it looks like Brian is hitting Mike in the head with his bass after every part. It's really funny. Watch the thing, you'll get a kick out of it. They do "I Get Around," "Surfer Girl," which they do the little, like these, like, it's not smoke, like, goat, like, stuff, but, like, it's something cool, and they do it during all the ballads. They did it during "Don't Let the Sun Get You Crying," too, and it's a really cool effect. And "Dance Dance Dance," which, I mean, that's a really great live performance of that. But Dennis is drumming in this. He was all into it, you know, so he was having a good time. Then Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas come out, which one of my favorite Liverpool groups, besides everybody else. No, I'm kidding. But they are really one of my favorite Liverpool groups. They do "Little Children," "Bad to Me," "I'll Keep You Satisfied," and "From a Window." So basically, sadly, those are their biggest hits, and they were already doing them by this time. But, you know, they do them really well. Billy J was in good voice. I mean, he always was. It's just a really great performance. There's not too much to say about it. It's a really, really good performance, especially from guitarist Mike Maxfield, the lead guitarist for Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. His guitar playing is always so good, and the drumming, I forgot his name. Tony. I think Tony's his name. He does some really great drumming in this. Bass player and rhythm guitarist. Rhythm guitarist Mick Green had just recently joined the group. And I like his rhythm guitar playing personally a little bit better than the rhythm guitar player they had beforehand. So then they go off, and then the Supremes come on, and they do quite a few songs. They do When the Love Light Starts Shining Through His Eyes, Run, 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 Baby Love, and Where Did Our Love Go, which, really, really good set. You know, Diana Ross, obviously, you know, and stuff. But it was a really good set. You know, it's typical Supremes kind of stuff, but it was really good. I have not really gotten into their deeper tracks yet, but, you know. The Barbarians, they do one song. They're the only group, I think, in this thing to do one song. They do Hey Little Bird, which I didn't even really, whatever. Then, well, we have Mr. James Brown. Yeah. I was not a humongous fan of this. I like his music, but just the whole routine, like, you know, we get the point, buddy. It's cool. I think a little bit of ahead of it. It's definitely ahead of its time by a lot. But a little early on, you know. But he does Out of Sight, Prisoner of Love, Please, 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 and Night Train. And he does this whole, like, he gets on the floor and he's like, you know, he's like he's about to die or whatever. And then the one of the flames has got to get up, and I don't know. Good performance vocally, but I find it a little, you know, a little boring after the first, you know, 8 or 9 minutes, and then I'm like, whatever. Now the Stones come out, which they always say that one of their biggest regrets ever was going on after James Brown, because they knew they couldn't compete with him, and they didn't. Jerry was actually more popular than the Rolling Stones in America by this time, because the Stones had not had Satisfaction out yet, so they had not hit really big in America. So they do Around and Around, Off the Hook, Time Is on My Side, It's All Over Now, I'm Alright, and Let's Get Together. I watched most of this. I'm not a humongous fan of the Stones, but from what I saw, really good performance, especially from Brian Jones, you know. But it just, you know, they really couldn't hold to what James Brown did. Now, I said, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of James Brown, but I like his music, and I mean, personally, they shouldn't have went on, and they said that they shouldn't have. And at the end, boy, the ending of this thing is just traumatic. It's not traumatic, it's just a catastrophe. I think it's when the Stones do Let's Get Together. Everybody comes back out. Everybody. Jan and Dean, I think, maybe only Jan, but I think Dean too, with these goofy suits on. I don't even know what they are. They show everybody. You've got Jerry, and, well, the pacemakers are in the back just screwing around, you know, like, whatever, you know, we're just here, you know, whatever. Jerry comes out with this little hat on with one of the dancers, doing something, and he's getting all the, and he's got the hat, like, way down over his ears and everything, and he does that. Dennis gets, like, carried, like, across the stage. I mean, that just happens. Everybody just dances around, and, oh my god, you know, we're up here, you know, oh my gosh, you know, woohoo, you know. So it's just all there, and they're just all there, and it's just, you can't even pay attention to half, like, if you're trying to see, oh my gosh, you know, here's this person over here, you know, you can't do that because there's just so many people, and it's such a catastrophe because they didn't care, because they just, okay, everybody come out, and they probably didn't tell them to do anything else. Great show. Great show. There's not really, there's no other way to put it. It's just a great show, you know. I can't really, I know I've said that like 10 times, but, yeah. Jeez. I'm just looking at how small the list of people are, of the TAMI Show performers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is why I don't like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I like going there for what's there, but there really should be other things in there. Chuck Berry, the Beach Boys, Smokey, the Stones, the Supremes, James Brown, Marvin Gaye, Darlene Love, Hal Blaine, and Leon Russell. Jan and Dean aren't in there. Jerry is not in there. Leslie Gore is not in there. Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas are not in there. The Barbarians are not in there. Five out of the group, 5 acts. If they were at this show, this was the biggest thing that happened in the year 1964, just about, in America, besides the Beatles. And they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's for another time. But overall, like I said, an amazing show, and I really love watching it. It's just a great, a great show. Yeah. So I hope you like my review of this, and yeah. Bye.